So I did get wind of this earlier, but now I have the time to actually cover this. And this is the trailer for The Last of Us Remake, dubbed The Last of Us Part 1, which is being released exclusively for the PlayStation 5 come September the 2nd, and later it will also be released to PC. They have not revealed the release date for the PC version, but it is coming. What this is, apparently it's a beefed up version graphically of the first The Last of Us, originally released in 2013. And it's going to have some additions to the gameplay that the first game didn't have, that was later inserted in the sequel, The Last of Us Part 2. And I believe the multiplayer component that was in The Last of Us, that was in the original, will not be in Part 1. However, there will be a separate multiplayer component that will be released as a standalone game. And I don't have too much information on that at this current time right now. But let's check out the trailer.
So why'd you leave Boston? I've been on quite the adventure, little brother. I reckon it's got something to do with that girl. It's got everything to do with that little girl.
You know, I've never been this close. It's the outside.
So is that everything you hoped for?
Can't be any worse out there. Can it?
Once upon a time,
So it's not just the original game. This is from the Left Behind DLC, which is one of the better DLC episodes that I've played from any video game that I can remember. So that's also been remade and will be packaged with Part 1.
I had somebody that I cared about. And in this world, that's good for one thing. Get you killed.
I can take care of myself.
How many close calls have we had? I get in trouble down there. You make every shot count.
I got this.
Hope you know how to use that thing.
I've had some practice.
So there it is, also in development for PC. Now, from what I just saw, it looks very close to what the original game was. Pretty much shot for shot, like scene for scene. It looks very similar. I see it looks like they slightly altered Ellie's look. So she matches her counterpart more so in The Last of Us Part 2. Now she looks a little bit more like her appearance in the sequel with this release right here. Other than that, it looks very spot on, almost like I said, shot for shot. There are some differences, some major differences with the lighting. For the remastered version, it looks more illuminated than the first game, which had more defined shadows, both in the environment and on the character models. Clearly, they wanted to show off more of the graphical fidelity with the facial animations and the detail, and the details in the skin and the eyes and what have you. And so that's the major updates that I see right here, as far as that goes. I don't expect this to be too different from the original gameplay wise. They did say that they were updating some things, so you'll have mechanics, I guess, that weren't possible in the original The Last of Us that will be possible in this remake. I made a video about this a long time ago, and I'm going to basically reiterate what I said in that video. And what I said in that video is A remake to The Last of Us doesn't make much sense because the game is perfectly playable now. It's not old enough like some of those Resident Evil games that Capcom's been remaking. You know, the remakes to the Resident Evil games are like 20 years apart, more than 20 years apart from the original releases. So that makes sense why we need, remakes for those games. The Last of Us is different. This isn't really warranted, but I understand why Sony is doing this. They deserve really any criticism that they get for this. And I'm going to go over why Sony has chosen to remake The Last of Us, why they're doing it now, and why it's only coming out on PS5, and why it's also coming to PC. So I'm going to give answers for all of that. Okay, so I am on MSN right now, and I have some more information on this remake pulled up here. This was revealed as part of the Summer Game Fest, and so Sony left some information off from the most recent State of Play. However, it's been known for over a year that Naughty Dog was working on a remake to The Last of Us. It was leaked due to job openings that Naughty Dog was posting. They were trying to be secretive about it, but it was very clear that's exactly what they were working on. It was also leaked with the multiplayer spin-off that there was going to be a multiplayer spin-off that was going to be a standalone release that they were working on for The Last of Us. I have not seen any footage or anything for that. And again, this is coming out September the 2nd for PlayStation 5. You will not be able to get it if you do not have a PS5. And it's also being developed for PC, and I'd imagine that's going to be releasing probably early next year. If I was in charge of Sony, that's when I would put it, because they already have Spider-Man coming to PC. They got Spider-Man Miles Morales coming to PC later this year. In fact, Spider-Man Remastered comes out on PC August the 12th. And then you have The Last of Us Part 1, the remake, coming out September the 2nd on console. And then you have Miles Morales that's coming out on PC later in the fall. And so Part 1, the remake, I'd say November or early December, or it'll come out probably mid to late January is my guess. And that'll be for the PC version. Problem with this release, well, part of the problem with this release is the fact that Sony is charging $70 for it. Now, the reason that's an issue is because they have not confirmed that this game is going to have any new content aside from some, gameplay updates, but there's not going to be any new content. There's not going to be any new DLC episodes. As far as we know, they haven't developed, Naughty Dog, they haven't developed anything new in terms of, any new levels that the original game didn't have. And even if they did, $70 price tag is pushing it for a game that's essentially a remake to a game that is not even, it's only 9 years old at this point, not even 10 years old. So that's a big problem, and I will definitely call them out on that for sure. So I'm not happy about that price tag, and that's a big reason why it's likely I will not be buying the console version. I'll still look into getting it on PC. I've always wanted to have The Last of Us on PC, however, not for $70. I will not spend $70 to play it on PC, so that's not going to happen. And also because they're making the multiplayer, the standalone multiplayer game, there's no point, in spending that kind of money on this remake, because the multiplayer component, which was great in the original game, I don't think that's going to be in Part 1, this remake. I think this is just going to be the base game itself and the DLC episode left behind. I think that's all this is going to be. Now, why is Sony doing this? Why now? Why reveal this now? And why release this now? Why this year? What's the point? Well, there's two reasons why Sony is doing this and why they're doing it right now. For one, Sony does not have, it appears that they don't have a killer app. They don't have an exclusive game that's being released on PlayStation this year. And to further emphasize that, God of War Ragnarok has been reportedly delayed to 2023. So Sony does not have a major exclusive that's being released on platform this year. And so what was supposed to be God of War Ragnarok slot, they've replaced that with a remake to The Last of Us. So that's the first reason. The second reason is because there's the Last of Us TV show that's coming out next year. So I believe recently they just wrapped filming on The Last of Us Season 1 for this upcoming adaptation, this television adaptation. And so there's a first look right here, the first official image released here, starring Bella, I believe her name is Bella Ramsey as Ellie, and Pedro Pascal as Joel. And this is from the official HBO series that's going to be released, I guess next year is when they're going to unveil that. That is another reason why they're doing this, is to promote the upcoming The Last of Us TV series. It's to remind everyone that, The Last of Us does exist, and now you can catch the TV show that's coming out next year. So those are the two primary reasons why Sony is doing this. It's to replace God of War Ragnarok, which was originally supposed to come out this year, but it looks like that's been delayed to next year. It hasn't been officially confirmed just yet, but I'm sure it will be at some point soon. And the second reason is to promote this television show. Now, again, I'm glad that The Last of Us is going to be on PC. Even if it was just the remastered version, the PS4 remastered version, I would have invested in that, and I would have been happy with that. I don't think this remake is absolutely necessary, but I think this is a waste of Naughty Dog's resources and their time. However, I'm not going to complain too much. The Last of Us, the original game, the first game anyway, not the second one. The second one was a goddamn disaster, but the first one is a masterpiece. Many consider The Last of Us to be, one of the best video games ever made for a variety of reasons. And so I'm glad that the game is finally, coming to PC. And I'm glad that Sony is showing that, they're serious about supporting the PC platform. Nevertheless, again, Sony can be called out for this ridiculous price tag. $70 is steep for a remake to a game that's not even 10 years old, that does not have any new content whatsoever. That's ridiculous. If you're on PS5 and you don't have a PC, I would not invest in this. Now, I have a PC. I'll get the game on PC, just not for $70, but, I'll invest into the game on PC. If I have to pirate the game first and play it that way, and then when they decide to drop the price, then that's just what I'll do. But I'm not going to spend $70 for a remake to a game that's not even 10 years old. That makes no sense. And regarding the standalone multiplayer title, they apparently didn't reveal gameplay. They just showed some concept art. If it's anything like the multiplayer mode from the original The Last of Us, the first one, then I'll probably invest in that too, because that is one of the best multiplayer modes that I've played, ever. Depending on what this is going to be, according to the size and, the scope and the scale of what this is going to be, what they're saying it's going to be, then, I can see myself investing in this too, but I'm going to need some more information first. There you have it. There's The Last of Us Part 1, the remake, and here's the big question. So, will we get The Last of Us Part 3? That's a fucking given. They're going to reveal that at some point. The Last of Us is too popular, it's too successful. They're not just going to drop it with, part two, and, it's just going to be two games. It's, this is a business. The video game industry is a business, first and foremost. Money to these companies matter. It matters quite a big deal. It matters quite a bit. So I'd imagine at some point, The Last of Us Part 3 will be revealed within the next few years, if not sooner. And so that's all the information that was released for The Last of Us Part 1, the remake. And so when they reveal what the price is going to be for PC, the PC release, I may make a video about that, or I may just use the community tab on the channel, give an update as far as that information goes.